COVID-19 brought a lot of problems. I think this is a statement that we all can agree on. Daily, there were thousands of cases and hundreds of deaths by coronavirus. That didn't just stress us, but it motivated us as well. Online life was hard because we were sitting in a room for hours trying to learn something, but we couldn't bring all this concentration together. Personally, I started giving up on it when I realized that it was easier to wake up 1 minute before lesson and join class while being in the bed than to try to adjust to this unusual type of teaching and analyze lessons properly. And don't call me lazy, because I'm pretty sure all of you have done that at least once. So after time flew, I started I started noticing some changes in my grades. And as an A student, I wasn't okay with that. I tried to improve, but no matter how much I tried, I still couldn't be that attentive. Plus, I was a little bit behind my school program, so I had to deal with it. But then, as new semester came by, I wanted to start everything from the blank page. And the factor that really helped me with improving was motivation. And that is the topic of my talk. To analyze the importance of motivation, is here anyone caffeine addicted? So yeah, you should probably know why it's so important to drink coffee in the morning. One sip equals an energetic day. Yes, it doesn't change the work you have to do, but it changes your appearance towards it. Same thing with motivation. If you're more motivated, you're more likely to enjoy the process of hard work. That is important because being unmotivated means that you're doing something without a heart. Some other people think that motivation is doing work without an effort, but the whole point of motivation is that you want to do something that might require lots of effort. Years ago, I used to struggle with my motivation, but as the time flew, I learned several motivational steps that I use daily. I guess it's time to share my very own 7 lucky steps about how to motivate yourself. Note that I'm not an expert psychologist, and all these facts are from my life experience. So first things first, you should have a goal. To strike a dart, you need to target on bullseye. To have something, you should know what you want. That's why be imaginative and ambitious. But please, don't dream of having unicorn with a magic hair, but dream of something that you can get after doing a particular activity. For instance, you can dream of having office on the 100th floor as a New York Times director, if you're really hardworking and curious. Second step is avoiding obstacles. So unfortunately, releasing your ambition is much more harder than dreaming. That's why you can look at successful people's backstories. Choose the format you like. You might watch their TEDx videos or read their book. Personally, I choose some motivational quote that I'm telling to myself, like David Guramishvili's quote, which tells us that learning is hard at first, but at the end it sweetens. Now it's time to talk about the biggest problem we face while releasing our ambition. Well, it's the biggest one for me. Ladies and gentlemen, applause to our dearest friend and greatest enemy, laziness. Because of it, we often miss deadlines. Because of it, we have to do our work at the last minute. And all of this is followed by stress and anxiety and disappointment. But I have great news, ladies and gentlemen. There is the way you can deal with problems. Listen closely. If you really want to do something, just do it. Don't wait till tomorrow. Try owning some bullet points of what you want to do. But my advice will be not to plan your day hourly, because sometimes running out of graphics is more stressful than the task you're doing itself. Other way of training yourself and dealing with laziness is to train. And by training, I mean to treat yourself like a puppy. When I'm really lazy learning, I pick some candy, then I put it on my desk, and when I finish learning, I eat it. That will not only motivate me for that particular moment, but if I do it constantly, my mind will associate learning as something that is followed by a treat. So in future, I'm not going to need these treats anymore, at least that often. This motivational object might be different for different people, like going out with friends or watching Netflix. Try having breaks. You can't be motivated if you're exhausted. I always have one day off, which I spend with my friends and my family. After school, I try having 1 hour break, and depending on my schoolwork, I have 15 minutes pause. Create an atmosphere where you feel delighted. That can be some posters, art, photos, anything that charges you positively. Recently, I found a weird photo of me and my friends laughing, and I pinned it on the pinboard. Later, when I started learning, I noticed that every time I look at this photo, I feel more motivated to fastly do something, so later I'm gonna go and have fun with my friends. Last but not least, I want to add, you should try not to get stressed. I know working for a dream is a hard thing. Sometimes you might fail. Sometimes you might delete projects on which you spend 12 hours, but don't worry, past can't be changed. Even though I hope the type of problems won't occur as in future, I'm pretty sure tomorrow I will forget to upload my homework on time. That's why don't worry, try to improve. And if you lost your motivation while failure, try to talk with someone who will get it, or write it in the diary. I sometimes write my problems on the sticky notes. Then I stick them to the last chapter of the book, so later when I notice it, I'm gonna feel more confident about it. In more anxious situation, I take videos which help me with expressing myself. So to sum up, you should have a goal that you'll try to work on. Even though you might face some problems like laziness or failure, you should try to improve. Manage your time for both works and breaks. Train yourself and create an atmosphere where you feel delighted. And never ever feel complex about sharing your words with others. I'm telling you this in hope that my experience somehow can help you. I know plenty of people. Some of them have no motivation to do anything. Some of them are forced to do something even if they don't feel passionate about it. And some other people are lost in the work. No contact, no friends, just book and their stress. That type of people believe that they have motivation, but in reality, they're just following the life flow. So if you or your friends are going through this phase, try to talk with someone who will get it. Thank you for attention. Bye.